What's going on, guys? Dan here, DD Speed Shop. As always, working garage. What else are we doing, right? So we're gonna, well, today's video is a bit bittersweet. We're gonna finish off this 66 Chevy just in time for a nice, fall cruise, nice weather. Nope, we missed it. So that motor debacle really set us back on this thing. Obviously pulling the motor in and out a bunch of times, putting this small block in. Summer, fall, all got away from us. But we'll make a runner driver out of it, and I can still put it through an inspection process here, so it'll all be 100% done on the road. Anyway, we have just a short list. We have to, I've drained all the water out of it because we're running in the summertime. So now I got some coolant. We got to put coolant in it. I'm going to put a thermostat in it. Actually, it's just a used thermostat I had. I think this is probably 180, eh? What else would I have? Oh, yeah, 180. Because there is no stat in it. There's no gasket. There's just silicone. But I'll peel that off, put it on there. Obviously, in sub-zero temperatures, it'll never get warm. And it'll run crappy. I think we're going to put a few more degrees of timing in it, because I think it'll want that. It was just a little lazy up top when we were driving it last, so we'll give it a little, just eyeball it. We're not even going to put a light on it. We got to finish up the squirters. Got to put the wipers back on. We need a battery tie down, and we have to dial the alignment together. Now, here's what we're going to do. I believe this one is decent. The other side, it had a bent tie rod, but it actually drove pretty straight, and then when it was bent, I tried to bend it back so the tie rod would be straight. It made it drive like crap. So obviously somebody had adjusted it, or something had happened when the tie rod was bent, and I put it all back together. I'd counted turns like usual. Well, now we're out. So that one wheel is kind of doing its own thing, so until I can get to the shop and do a proper alignment on it, we're going to go ahead and eyeball it, which is a bit of a hassle because you really want to do it with the weight on the suspension, but I think we'll go ahead, kind of give her an eyeball up in the air on the hoist and call her a day. It's still drivable, it just skids the one tire a little bit there, it kind of cups it, which is not the best for long-term driving. Not that there's a whole lot of long-term driving this needs to be getting right away. But we got a couple bags of stuff. I got to put a seat cover on, very minor things. That's what we've done. Maybe we'll go take it out, drive it in, and do some donuts in the snow. Winter. All right, a little BSing around later. We got a stat in it. I broke the hold on for the battery. That was handy. So I cut and welded just a new piece in there, but she locked in, and I put a horn in it. Oh, and I put a hose clamp on the washer fluid. We got a little, look at the freeway blaster. So now, I was gonna run it and burp the air out of the system, but I thought if I do that, then I'll lift it up, then I gotta do tie rods, and I'll for sure burn my forehead on the header, so I don't wanna do that. So actually, I think I have to weld on some stoppers too. Now that I think about it, the steering touches the headers. Damn it. But anyways, we're gonna jack it up, lift it up. I don't jack anything anymore. So we're gonna lift it up in the air. We're gonna use the tape measure, and I'm gonna show you exactly the wrong way of how to do an alignment on a car, which you should never ever do. Because really you wanna have the weight of the vehicle on the front suspension. Because the wheels are gonna be all cambered, all goofy. But we're gonna do the best we can. We'll get it down the road so it's not scraping tires. Honestly, the roads are so wet and snowy, we'll never even know if the alignment's bad. But we want to get that dialed together. We'll weld on those stoppers. Just give everything a once over underneath, make sure we're good. Drop it down, run it, coolant, a few little odds and ends, and I think we'll drive it tomorrow when there's daylight, because it's winter and it's dark here at like 4:30. All right, are you guys ready for absolute wrong way to do everything? Man, I love this stuff. So, I don't know if you can see on the camera or not, because we're lifting up. We're not lifting on the suspension, obviously we're hanging up the frame. So everything's hanging down, so the camber's all jacked up. Now, I'll show up on this camera too well. This tire's all scrubbed up. She ain't happy. Now what we're gonna do, they sell little kits you can put kind of tape measures in and do all sorts of things to kind of eyeball it for your toe. Now what we're gonna do, it's very scientific, we're gonna pick a tread line, so we'll probably pick the inside one. And we're going to run inside tread line to inside tread line. If I can do this, I already did it once, there we go. And that gives us 55 and 3/4-ish. Now, on the back, I measured, and it was 56.5. Same thing, same tread, right about the center. I went up just kind of in line with the headers because you can only go up so high in the back. You have a lot more up and down on the front. So we're talking 3/4 or 7/8 of an inch, whatever I said there, of toe in, of both. Now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust that. So we probably have, I don't know, like an 1/8 in or something like that. But we're just going to adjust the passenger side wheel with the tie rod, which is extremely easy because it's loose. Oh, that's the wrong way. Dummy. It's all brand new stuff, so we'll give it one of those. And we'll measure back and forth until I said we have about an 1/8 of toe in, I think is what I probably want to do on this. And that'll be good enough to get us to the alignment shop and hopefully not completely destroy these tires. Obviously with a brand new rebuilt front end, if it ever had an alignment in the past, it was done with wore out stuff. So we'll do that real quick, and then the next time you see me, I'll go ahead and show you what I'm going to do with welding on some washers, probably. Maybe I'll just weld it, we'll see what happens, to make the steering wheel stop, where the steering stops. Custom steering wheel stops. Man, this car's beating me. I've had enough of it. I'd like to work on something else, but we're so close to the finish line, I might as well get her done. Okay, now we're perfectly aligned. We're going to adjust the old steering stops. So, where can we get in here? So that right there, man, the light's brutal in here, eh? That right there is your steering stop, and it's supposed to contact right there. Well, as you can see, we got a little bit of a gappy gap, and the center link is actually touching the oil pan. So this needs some sort of a different oil pan or customization or something along those lines, or a washer. So what we're going to do, it may be multiple washers, but gentle, gentle. So in there, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and weld a couple of washers right there, essentially taking up some of that space. We'll lose a little bit of turning radius, but in turn, it's much easier. And really, I don't think this thing's doing U-turns on a dime anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and grind that up real quick, weld on 3 washers, double check it. We got to do the same thing on the other side, and this thing will be all 100% taken care of underneath for today. So this all could have been avoided with, well, a little bit of planning or a few less motor swaps. Just get in here. Oh yeah. Perfect. Now, take our trusty washer. Now I'm going to do this. I think 3 is probably the right number to start with. Where do I want it? Right there. Hot. It's hot. Shield down. Mint. So put on a few more of them. I think I can do 2 at the same time. Well, that would really be a time saver. See if she'll all stick. Plus, not only does this work, it looks good too. You gotta square them up, eh? You don't want to be embarrassed. Oh, it's hot. All right, weld them together. Whew. Are we guessed right? Oh yeah, we're on the stop. And we're not touching the oil pan. All right. So what we gotta do actually is tighten up these tie rods real quick while we're at it. And yeah, maybe we'll give that another weld, but I think we solved all our problems. All right, we're back on the ground. Man, this up and down with the hoist is handy. But I mentioned you guys should get one yet. Yeah, so we got everything kind of dialed together. I'm gonna run this thing tonight, get it up to temperature, double check the coolant's good. If I gotta get some more, I'll get it tomorrow. On the way home from work, while it's idling, hopefully it'll idle nicely. Any fuel in it? Some. This thing ran out of gas, actually, so get some, a jerry can of gas. Jerry can of gas, it's always something. Anyways, so we'll get it running, and I think while it's running, I got the door up. I get Colton here, but I'm gonna put the wipers on, or the arms. And then I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow when it should be 100% done. 100% done. I'm ready for a proper test drive. Do you guys want to hear a starter? Rear. All right, girl, let's go. We in park? Yeah, we're in park. Okie dokie, we got nothing. Oh, you know what? What's going on here? That's tight. Oh. Ground cable. Who'd have thought, eh? Guess they're kind of important every now and again. You think she'll go? No. We have headlights. We have no starter. What is going on here? Alright, we'll be right back. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's the next day. The damn car, I was not having it. But just home from work, and it's time to hustle before we run out of daylight. But it never ends. So, of course, we had no start, but we had everything else is fine. So neutral safety, something along those lines. I was thinking. I checked all my connections on the hood, checked the starter, no power. Okay, that's fine. Popped the shifter apart. Everything's still connected there. I'm like, okay. So I just test everything. Well, we had no power through. These are the neutral safety wires. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So I tested that, the actual neutral safety. Before that, like an idiot, I thought, oh, the ignition switch must be bad. It's never that. Anyway, so I just jumpered it with a little cheater wire there, and it's fine. So then I went and started testing. The friggin' micro switch stopped working. Yet it's installed properly and realistically brand new, and nothing has happened other than sitting. So that's a good one. I don't know if I have a spare one, but whatever, that's $3. In the meantime, we have a jumper. Starter's still terrible. Ugh. I am still sitting in glass. Probably should have cleaned that up first, but oh yeah. So where's the key? I took it out. Let's see if this thing will start. Man, this motor runs good. All right, well, we're gonna pop the door up and let her get the temperature, put some water in it, clean the interior out, and then we'll go for a cruise. We only have about an hour of daylight. All right, well, we gotta move this junker out of the way. Get this thing out of the way, it's all together. Put some material in it, we're just gonna get it warmed up. One thing I gotta do is run some 4x4 blocks. My fault with the headers and the exhaust drags a little, so. Look at that, it's like Cop Special vinyl. All mint, cleaned up, Danny's here. Let's go for a little drive. We got this thing all dialed together. I ran it before, we had it up to temperature, so it got to 180 degrees. It's got some sort of rattle in the back, who knows, could just be some junk in the trunk. This thing had a bunch of rims, I don't know if I ever took them out or not. It's a nice snowy day. It smells a little burny. Oh, have we driven it with this motor? I don't remember yet. So I think we should around the block maybe, but I've painted everything, it's probably just paint smell. But the summer tires don't do a whole lot. They just kind of spin, so that's always fun. I'll take it for a little drive. I want to put some miles on. Like I said, I got to take it in for a proper inspection, but I think it has all the gears. First, second, third. So we got to get a micro switch for the old girl. Stupid shifter. Man, do I hate when brand new junk screws up. It's very frustrating. But kind of the story of my life. It's definitely got a bit of a hesitation and a miss there under load. Which I did before. I put more timing into it, still doesn't like it. Fuel gauge ain't working. I don't know if I ever got that properly fixed or not. It revs fine, but a little loaded up, it's not too happy. Maybe we'll avoid the school zone today. It's a nice strong car. Too bad the weather is not the best. Oh, I gotta say, I am kind of glad to be done with this thing. Put a go get an inspection. Oh, hopefully I'm done with it. We got to make sure it passes the inspection. Should be good, brand new everything. Can't really complain about too much. And then honestly, it's going to be going away for the season. It's kind of too bad. I really thought we'd be putting some miles on this thing this fall, but no. There's always next fall. Oh, speed bump. This thing just floats. There's all sorts of rush hour traffic here. Oh, children. This thing doesn't even look that suspicious. Kid likes it. Get on here. So we're putting a few miles on. It's actually doing pretty good. Probably out for around 10 or 15 minutes, just kind of cruising around. Still has a bit of a miss under low. It's definitely not happy. Needs a little more tuning or screwing around, or there's no bag on it. It could be it's sucking dead cold air in. It needs a little snorkel tube. There's no air filter on it or anything. So it might need something there to kind of get a little bit of warm air in it. But overall, it floats down the road like real nice. I think it's pretty good. And it, like, once you get going, it's not too bad, but just under load, it doesn't want to downshift, then it's kind of unhappy. But I mean, really, it does the job. These people are cool. She whips around. The bench seat's a little annoying for sure. But oh well, let's get the hell out of here. The only good thing about winter is screwing around, you feel like Ken Block. Woo! And then first gear, it revs out okay, so it only does it when it's loaded. Something knocked around the back there. It only does it when it's loaded and it won't downshift. But I know it won't downshift because Turbo 400s are electronically downshifted with a little kind of micro switch something out on the pedal or on the carburetor. And well, you guessed it, I didn't put that on, so probably why it's not downshifting. Buddy digs it there, but otherwise it goes good. So we got to figure that out. Why it has a bit of stumble? Maybe it just needs a bunch more timing. As far as I'm concerned, everything needs a bunch more timing. This motor did run pretty good in that Nova. As I remember, it didn't have any stumbles. Gets up and goes. So I think that's where we're going to leave it. This thing is, I put a fork in it, I'm done with it, unless there's anything else that majorly happens. You probably won't be seeing this thing too much, unless we're going to put it in storage, which will probably happen in the next week or so. It'll probably just be in the background of videos, covered in snow, neglected, and we'll have to revive it again next time we want to drive it. But, there you go. Everybody should get a cheap hot rod. Man, this thing was like, it was $1,000 car in July or whatever it was. It sure took us for a ride all the way till, well, now it's November. But it was a fun time. This is what hot rodding should be. We don't have a lot of money in it. There's only probably $2,500 in the whole car. But, yes, CRV. But there's a pile of headaches. Thanks for watching. Subscribe below. Do me a huge favor. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Even though I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. See you later. Bye. like this car.